Unlike Gavin, I am in the pursuit of truth. So I've taken it upon myself to interview boots on the ground. I have interviewed members of the Los Angeles Fire Department, and the truths I have found are harrowing. Why is Gavin so adamant about pushing this narrative that they did not run out of water in the Pacific Palisades? Well, it's because they did. A firefighter told me that he was on a street in the Pacific Palisades, and not only did he run out of water, but they had insufficient hydrants. So he explained to me that the standard distance between residential homes is usually less than 1,000 feet. And in this case, these homes were very large. We're talking like 15,000 square foot mansions and hydrants that were over 1,000 feet apart. In addition to that, running out of water and these hydrants being too far apart, these hydrants only had a 2.5-inch wharf hydrant instead of 4 inches, which means the diameter of the hose. This means that these firefighters did not have sufficient fire flow to extinguish these fires. He told me that they were doing the best that they could and they were making good effort, but they could have saved more homes by putting up a water curtain, which would have allowed them to save the exposure of houses. But they couldn't because they ran out of water in the Pacific Palisades. He highlighted that he didn't want to diminish the fact that this fire behavior was insane and it was the worst he's ever seen. We could have saved way more structures than we did if we had water. In addition to that water reservoir being empty in the Pacific Palisades, holding 117 million gallons of water, they tarped it when they never should have for environmental reasons and evaporation. But don't you think that evaporation should not supersede the need for helicopters to access the water and suck out water for fire suppression, for aerial help? That was out of the question because it was tarped when it was not meant to. I was also informed that the city, allegedly, did not consult with the fire department before they drained this reservoir. Let me read what he explained to me. He says that we are set up to run something called a master stream operations. This is where you're flowing upwards of 800 gallons a minute from a big water cannon on top of the rig. And in order to do that effectively, you have to be connected to a hydrant. It's highly effective. You can put out a ton of fire with it. Now, granted, this fire behavior was insane, and we were working to save every home we can. But in this instance, we could have saved more homes if we had more water, but no water in the Palisades. We had water in Malibu because those reservoirs were filled. It's basic stuff. We need water to put out fires. With water in Malibu, we made a difference and saved homes because we sit on a hydrant and protect the exposure. The reason we even lost homes in Malibu along the coast was because they were connected. It wasn't multiple structures. In theory, it was one big structure. But he also told me that what these people are saying, that no water system is able to operate and push out that much water, isn't incorrect. But they're conflating extinguishing the whole fire with that because that's not what they're trying to do. They're not trying to extinguish the whole fire. They're going to lose homes. They know that that's the reality. But the reality is also that they could have saved more if they had water in the Pacific Palisades. And that is the message that needs to get out. I mean, Malibu was also really bad, but at least they saved homes there. But then you go look at the streets of Palisades and you tell me there's nothing left. I also asked about climate change, and I was told that they're calling bullshit on climate change because the Native Americans called the Santa Ana winds the devil winds. These winds have been around for hundreds of years, and it's the main reason that these fires got so bad. So I don't know how you conflate the two. Also, these winds were predictable. We knew that they were coming, so why were we not better prepared in the days prior? I asked about rumored arson, and he said, I'll be honest, and I'll say what no one is willing to say. It's the frickin' homeless. They had a Palisades fire in the exact same area 3 years ago caused by homeless, but no one wants to say it and everyone's afraid. More than half of the calls they respond to are fires caused by the ever-growing homeless population in LA. And they'll cut the fire department budget by $20 million, but they'll spend billions on the homeless. That does absolutely nothing. I asked about DEI. And the answer was, of course, we don't mind women in the fire service if they could do the job. That's all that matters. But then a wife in the background says, my husband, if he needs help, his coworkers need to be able to carry him out. I don't care who you are, but you shouldn't be getting regulations changed. And you need to carry my husband and anyone else who needs help out. Pretty reasonable stuff. I asked about controlled burns. They're not allowed to do that because of these insane environmental regulations that Karen Bass has prioritized. And I say Karen Bass because they're allowed to do fire operations in Santa Barbara, but not in Los Angeles County because of the environmental regulations. Because Karen Bass has prioritized these conservation activists over the betterment of her people. There was also beyond frustration about this multi-billion-dollar water bond that was passed in 2014 by California voters to build reservoirs. It was meant to store and capture water. They would have been able to put out so much more of the fire with more water. The harsh reality is that if they had access to this 117 million gallon reservoir, it would have made at least a 10% difference and they would have saved thousands of more homes. For perspective, 117 million gallons of water is equivalent to 29,000 water trucks. It is estimated that 12,000 structures have been lost in the Palisades. That water would have been just under 10,000 gallons of water per structure lost. Gavin has seen this play out in the 2018 and 2020 fires, and he's been warned numerous times by numerous people, both publicly and privately, to properly prepare, and he didn't. Anyone with common sense knows that the state needs to clear brush, allow controlled burns, increase water storage, and hire based on performance alone. But Gavin's refusal to implement these solutions just further highlights his incompetence and inability to effectively do this job. Because instead, we've seen Gavin give in to the woke mob, and he's doubled down on his proven dangerous and deadly policies. Gavin, you have failed the people of California. You are a poor leader. You take no accountability, and you're focused on promoting your own image. You're a professional liar. You were caught saying that you were on the phone with Biden when, oh wait, you weren't. You lied then, you lie now. The truth will always prevail, and you will be exposed, Gavin Newsom. It is time for the people of California to demand better. Your votes have had terrible consequences on people's lives, and this needs to stop. Here is the transcript of one of my interviews with a Los Angeles firefighter of 20 plus years of service. The firefighters that I spoke with told me that Gavin Newsom directed the removal of Elon Musk from the command post where he was live streaming with that battalion chief. Gavin Newsom told him to leave. Kicked Elon out for trying to help. It doesn't end there. Gavin Newsom also ordered the Cal Fire firefighters to return and not accept the donated Starlinks by order of the governor. Now, I've been told by firefighters on the ground that Starlink has directly impacted the success of fighting these fires through improving communication methods. I'm sure we've all seen by now that Gavin has posted Elon Musk's lies exposed by firefighters on the ground. Leave it to Gavin to politicize a tragedy and attack the man that was trying to help. So let's back up. What was Elon doing at the command post, the Los Angeles Fire Department command post? He was helping. He found out that these firefighters were going 24, 36, 48 hours on end with no way to communicate. They had no signal, and they couldn't communicate with each other or their families. So Elon was told that they were looking for more Starlink and, of course, said, how can I help? Elon shows up with 17 Cybertrucks full of Starlink, food, water, resources for these firefighters. And I know that Elon got briefed privately by a firefighter on the ground telling him that they didn't have water in the Pacific Palisades, which was why he asked the battalion chief about this in the live stream here.
Is that like along the, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, in Malibu along the coast there was no shortage of water.
Yes.
In the Palisades there was a shortage of water at a certain point, or is that not accurate?
Well, we were flowing just an amount of water that the system couldn't overbear. That we were just overbearing.
Skirt.
Just because of how much water these firefighters were utilizing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So, what you don't know is that battalion chief who skirted that question has career aspirations and has to play this political game that is set by Gavin Newsom in pushing out this narrative that there was water because they are trying to save face. However, I spoke with an active Los Angeles firefighter who told me, and I quote, "If we had access to more water in the Palisades, we could have saved more homes." So get this. The firefighters that I spoke with told me that Gavin Newsom directed the removal of Elon Musk from the command post where he was live streaming with that battalion chief. Gavin Newsom told him to leave. Kicked Elon out for trying to help. It doesn't end there. Gavin Newsom also ordered the Cal Fire firefighters to return and not accept the donated Starlinks by order of the governor. Now, I've been told directly by firefighters on the ground that Starlink has directly impacted the success of fighting these fires through improving communication methods. What I've also learned is the reality that both Elon and this battalion chief are right. It's true that no water system is set up to fight this kind of fire, but they're not meant to. Water systems aren't meant to fight this kind of fire. But more water could have saved the homes in the Palisades. That's also fact. But Gavin's weak attempt to politicize this and lie about the causes of this tragedy is pathetic. He is trying to save face and attack the man that is trying to help, a man that employs tens of thousands of people in his state. And he's going to attack him for his own political gain. Gavin has created an environment where these firefighters are fearful to tell the truth because they don't want to lose their jobs. But why would we be surprised? We've seen this before when COVID happened and Gavin fired firefighters for not getting the vaccine. He punished them for having a difference of opinion. And this was recently, might I add. So why would we be surprised that he's going to do it again? Now, unlike Newsom, I am in the pursuit of truth. So I have taken it upon myself to interview a few of these brave firefighters that have put their lives on the line to contain and extinguish these fires. And the truths I have found are harrowing. Gavin, you have failed the people of California. You are a poor leader. You take no accountability, and you're focused on promoting your own image. You're a professional liar. You were caught saying that you were on the phone with Biden when, oh wait, you weren't. You lied then, you lie now. The truth will always prevail, and you will be exposed, Gavin Newsom. It is time for the people of California to demand better. Your votes have had terrible consequences on people's lives, and this needs to stop. Here is the transcript of one of my interviews with the Los Angeles firefighter of 20 plus years of service.
In the Camarillo area. So I know what it takes I know, I at least can say, I have deep feeling for you, and my first piece of advice to you is let's take care of our mental and physical health first before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire. Rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire. When we started this fire. Or when we started this fire. Better than they were when we started this fire. So as the fire and sheriff and by the
Attention Lost Hill Station, code 3 response needed, ran 904 914S, 3554 Decker Canyon Road in Malibu. Informant lives at Loke and sees people on fire at the end of Decker Edison Road. Tag is 126, Lost Hills unit in 1 or less. Lost Hills unit.
Hey everybody, wanted to let you know that my family is safe. My sister and her family are safe. The fires are obviously still raging around Los Angeles. I live in a little town called El Segundo, which is a beach town in Los Angeles County. Walking down Main Street right now, and we are not in any sort of evacuation zone. We are 10 miles from the Palisades fire. There are 3 or 4 other fires actively blazing around Los Angeles. A lot of loss of homes, a lot of loss of schools. At least 3 schools in the Palisades and 3 in the Altadena, Pasadena area are gone. There's going to be a lot of need for assistance. So I will continue to post places that you can donate. That's for right now. I just wanted to let you know. Thank you for all your kind messages. Hope we are safe. The air is obviously very smoky and gross, but that is not something to complain about in the midst of this crisis. So thank you for your concern, and I will keep you updated on how you can help.
We got the call, we need to evacuate. We were not prepared for this. This is the Hollywood fire. Helicopters all over. We took everything we could think of.
Hi, Saffron!
Grab it!
I'm grabbing
Oh my god. Any books?
You don't read them during normal life. Now during the fire, I want to take books.
Oh my god. Oh, I wanted my blanket.
Babe, come on, let's go.
But I've had that blanket since
Okay,
college.
I'll bring it, though.
We're still okay over... Oh, fuck. I hear sirens, babe. We gotta go! So I tried to make the house as wet as possible. Okay, praying for you, house.
We're gonna be back, don't worry.
We're gonna be back. Praying for you, Los Angeles. This is crazy.
Place that ain't home, ain't nobody to hold in this town. the ground. Oh, but darling, my mind has been broken by the nights and the fights and the notion that the stains on my soul, they just won't wash away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need you to heal me, to feel me. It's murder when you're not around. I need you to heal me, be near me. Never needed you closer than now. Oh, the silence is spoken, it's dark and it's hopeless, and I don't know how it plays out. So I bathe in the river and pray it delivers me from all my shadowing doubt. Oh, 'cause darling, my mind has been broken by the nights and the fire.
Next up, LAPD Chief McDonald.
Thank you for the cooperation that we've had from so many people, and the support that we've received. It's something that is very humbling. Our job remains to be the same: evacuation, and that may happen again in the next couple of days, traffic control and crime suppression. All of those things that are ongoing efforts, and we're getting feedback. We're trying to adapt what we do to be able to meet the needs of the community that we're serving. There's people, elderly people who can't get around that well. Reach out to them and see if they're okay. Sheriff Luna mentioned the scams. Educate yourself before you give. Everybody wants to be helpful, wants to donate, and wants to be part of the solution. But before you do that, do some homework, get on the web, and make sure the entity you're given to is actually a legitimate one.
So today's video is basically about how to block the EMF radiation from going into your bedroom. Because like about 3 years ago I was getting a lot of headaches and couldn't work it out, and then I realized, oh, it's a smart meter. I moved my bedroom, I moved rooms, and within like a day my headaches that I was getting for about a month disappeared. So how to block it is, initially I used thick aluminium foil with aluminium fly screen wire, and then I found that the signal was still getting through. So what I did is I bought this roll here of lead from Bunnings for $70, and I've wrapped one piece of lead around the outside of the smart meter, and then with the two screws there, the smart meter just came out a little bit. I was able to get behind it and put I think 3 or 4 lengths from up here all the way down across to block it. And then so this is a reading from outside. And then I'll go inside and I'll show you the reading from inside. So the reading from inside. The other option is you could get like a pitcher and put the lead on the back of a pitcher, and then just hang a pitcher there if you didn't want to do the outside part, and that's another way to do it as well.